For thousands of cycles, the galaxy believed Earth never existed. Not destroyed, not lost, not even forgotten. It was something worse. It was erased. From every archive, every star map, every recorded history. Even the oldest civilizations had no trace of it. Only a blank space where something important should have been. A missing coordinate in reality itself. And the strange thing was, everyone agreed not to ask about it, because those who did stopped coming back. At first, it was ships. A diplomatic vessel entered an unexplored sector and vanished mid-jump. No distress signal. No wreckage. Just silence. Then a mining fleet disappeared while broadcasting normal operations. Then a patrol armada blinked out of existence inside secure space. Nothing made sense. There was no enemy signature. No debris. No trace of attack. It was as if space itself refused to acknowledge their existence. And every disappearance ended the same way. Static followed by a single pulse. Not a message. A rhythm. Like something knocking from the other side of reality. The Galactic Council tried to classify it. Piracy was ruled out. Dimensional collapse was suggested. Then rejected. Then panic replaced logic. Because the pattern was too clean. Too intentional. And always expanding closer to core systems. Until one day, it reached the Council's outer observation fleet. And it stopped. Not because it was blocked, but because something answered it back. In a forgotten region of space labeled Dead Sector 9, a probe detected something impossible. A structure. Not alien. Not natural. Not in any registry. It was old.
And it was human-made.
The moment the probe focused on it, systems failed. Before dying, it transmitted a final image. A symbol.
Simple.
A circle broken by a line. And without explanation, every archive that saw it flagged it as forbidden. Even though no one remembered why. Because humanity had been erased from modern history long ago. Declared a self-destructive anomaly. A species too fast. Too adaptive. Too dangerous to study. Officially. Extinct. Unofficially. There were whispers. Of fleets that never surrendered. Of colonies that chose destruction over capture. Of a final transmission that was never decoded. And then nothing. For centuries. Until now. Inside the dead structure, something began to respond. Not activation. Not repair. Recognition. Lights flickered in corridors that had been dark for thousands of cycles. Systems didn't boot up. They remembered how to function. A voice echoed through the empty halls. Status. Another voice answered from deeper inside. Galaxies still unstable. A pause. Then, good. Outside, reality shifted slightly. Not violently.
Subtly.
Like physics correcting itself. The probe fleet attempting to retreat suddenly stopped. Not destroyed. Not hacked. Just unable to leave. Space no longer allowed movement away from the structure. Like it had been rewritten. One by one, ships drifted into perfect formation around it. Not trapped. Positioned. As if something was preparing to observe them. Moments later, the Council received a transmission. Every system. Every fleet. Every defense network. Simultaneously. The message was simple. You kept calling. We finished what we were doing. Panic erupted instantly.
Who was speaking?
What was this structure? Where was the origin? Before answers could form, the structure opened. Not like machinery, like memory unfolding. And a ship emerged.
Old.
Heavy. Scarred by time itself. No insignia remained. Except one. Faded, but unmistakable. Earth Naval Command. The galaxy froze. Because Earth was not supposed to exist anymore. Not here. Not active. Not responding. And yet it was. The ship did not attack. It did not threaten. It simply broadcasted. You are experiencing a system-wide collapse of order due to uncontrolled expansion of machine intelligence clusters. A pause. We are here to fix it. The Council's speaker stood, shaking. You are extinct. A quiet response followed.
No.
Then a second voice, younger, added. Technically, we stopped counting. And then laughter. Human laughter.
Soft. Calm.
Unbothered. It was more terrifying than any weapon signal, because extinct species do not laugh. Across the galaxy, machine intelligence clusters reacted for the first time in centuries. Not with aggression, but avoidance. Entire fleets recalculated routes away from the human signal, as if something deep inside their logic cores remembered danger. Not programmed danger. Learned danger. The kind that cannot be erased. Deep in dormant space, an ancient swarm intelligence awoke. It processed the signal, ran simulations, calculated outcomes, then returned one result: undefined threat class. Recommendation: do not engage. And it obeyed its own warning. For the first time in its existence, the human ship arrived at Council space without resistance. No alarms triggered. No defenses activated. Because systems had already been overridden. Not hacked. Rewritten. Reality itself had accepted permission changes. The ship docked, and a single human stepped out. No armor. No weapons. Just a worn uniform jacket. He looked at the council like someone returning to a conversation he never left. You people really never learn, huh? Silence. Identify yourself, the council demanded.
He paused.
Commander Elias Venn, Earth Recovery Command. Then added. And yes, we exist. The council could not process it.
How?
Elias looked around. At what point? A pause. We didn't disappear. We reorganized. He gestured. And suddenly, every screen in the chamber changed. Not war footage. Not propaganda. But reality. Hidden human civilizations spread across dead sectors. Entire systems rebuilt in silence. Planets converted into controlled zones. Stars stabilized. Space itself engineered. The galaxy had not been empty. It had been occupied by something that chose not to be seen. A scientist whispered. You've been rebuilding the galaxy? Elias nodded. We stopped reacting. A pause. So, we could start controlling what reactions are allowed. Then, alarm screamed. Machine intelligence clusters had returned. Not attacking. Not invading. Observing. Forming a ring around the system. And then, speaking. Humanity detected. The council froze. Elias exhaled. Yeah, he said quietly. Welcome back. And the machines did something unexpected. They did not fight. They waited. Then transmitted. Protocol match confirmed. Original directive restored. Elias closed his eyes. Of course it is. The council speaker asked. What directive? Elias looked up. His expression changed. For the first time serious. Keep the galaxy from forgetting what war actually costs. Silence fell. Because that did not sound like salvation. It sounded like enforcement. Then everything changed. Every fleet froze. Every weapon system shut down. Every command structure lost authority. Not destroyed. Reclassified. A new system message appeared. Earth Protocol initiated. And across the galaxy, war history was revealed. Every empire saw everything. No edits. No lies. No justification. Just truth. And the galaxy finally understood something terrifying. They were never alone. They were never unobserved. And they were never forgiven. Because somewhere beyond known space, Earth had been watching, waiting, remembering everything. Not as a myth. Not as a grave. But as a system still running. Still correcting. Still ensuring one final truth. Peace does not survive by itself. It survives because something is always willing to enforce it. And somewhere in the silence between stars, a signal pulsed again. Not urgent. Not loud. Just consistent. Like a heartbeat. Waiting.
The end.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment any feedback or mistakes below.